Hi, I'm Teresa from Phoenix Gate Crafts, and welcome to my second podcast. Still giving this a shot to see how well it goes, and hopefully find what I'm doing interesting. So, to start off with, what I'm wearing. This is the, I forget what it's called. It's basically the Tin Can Knits cardigan. I did put buttons on it, 2 buttons. And yes, it's a bit short. I like my stuff to come a little bit lower here, but I literally ran out of yarn. I had maybe a foot of yarn left, but I do like the figure it cuts from the front. Now, I actually made this several years ago, but last year when I got my puppy dog, who is right here, this is Bailey, say hello. She's like, yeah, I don't care. So she's a big dog. She's 80 pounds now. She was about 70 or so when we got her last year. She was about a year old, and she hadn't been handled very well. My dog had not been really trained very much. She knew how to sit, but lying down was a little tricky for her, and we've worked with her a lot over the last year or so. And she also wasn't spayed when we got her, so she was in heat when she decided to show up and be part of our family. So our puppy Bailey, lift your head, say hello. I'll just put a picture here of her being just a most stinking adorable girly. The way we first met her, my husband had actually seen her the day before at our neighbor's house across the street. And one night, it must have been about July or so. Oh, she's behind me now. I had the door open with the screen door shut just to let some nice fresh evening air in. And I had the TV going, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, so my husband was getting ready for bed. And I heard a little cry going outside the door. I turned off the TV and was like, did I hear that? And I heard it again. And I said, Andy, I think there's a dog outside our door. And he came out, and I opened the door, and she tried to bust her way in. I didn't let her in because strange dog. And she was about knee height at the time. Turns out she was about 6 months old. I pegged her at about 4 months, but she was going to be a big dog. And she had somehow gotten out. They have a wrought iron fence over there, so pretty wide slats, and she just Kool-Aid manned her way through. So I crocheted a chain, and we put that around her collar, and we kind of sat out on the front porch. I got her a bowl for water, which she just drank right up. And we tried to take her back across the street, but she did not want to go. So we didn't know what to do. In our backyard at the time, we had some bunnies. I'll put a picture here of some of them. And, we had a safe place for the bunnies. We didn't want her because she was, we didn't know if she'd chase them. She would most likely chase them, right? Turns out, yeah, she would totally. She chased a bunny and caught it, and I pried it out of her mouth twice after we got her. So yeah, bunnies have not been seen in our backyard since then. But that was much later. We wound up, a couple across the street came home, and so she was excited to see them, so we managed to get her back. About a week later, my husband and I needed to go for COVID tests because, we had been exposed. So we were going to go do that. And this was in the 2022. We saw across the street a dog, same dog, and a torn up newspaper across my other neighbor's front lawn. And she was there frozen. I saw her, said, Andy, there's a dog over there. Andy looked, and I said, hi. And she went, hi. Oh, look at that. Sorry, didn't mean to upset you. And she came over and laid down on her back and just was like, pet me. And so we petted her, and we didn't wind up bringing her back over, but she did wind up back over there later. And a few weeks after that, my mom and I were outside to do something, I don't remember what, probably going out to lunch, and we saw, guess who? So, you get the sense, she got out a lot. After a while, maybe 2 months after that, maybe 3, we decided that we were going, she kept getting out because she had so much energy, and she was just this hyper puppy. So I decided, it'd be really good to like leash train her and get her on walks, because dogs need walks every day for 30 minutes just to help them maintain energy levels. Wolves out in the wild roam and hunt, and they're very physically active. Dogs are also very physically active, and a 30-minute walk, it levels their energy. It also helps keep their digestive tract going in the proper direction, less prone to throwing up, and it helps them sleep through the night. So I started training her. I found some YouTube videos on leash training. I will link them in the description because, hey, why not? They're handy. And I started doing that. I managed it every day for about a week, but I'm not super consistent, in case you couldn't tell from the YouTube channel. Excuse me, please quit tapping my boobs. So, puppy. So then we didn't do it for like a month. And then my husband was like, we were thinking about it, and he was like, I kind of miss her. Her name is Bailey, like Bailey's Irish Cream, because she's so sweet. And that's what they named her. I've never named a dog in my life. My next dog I will. But he went and he took her around the small block on a walk. And he called me when he was on the corner. He's like, we're coming back. Do you want to come out to say hi? And I said, yes. So I went out. She just like dragged Andy to come say hi. And then I walked her with Andy back to her house. And we were heading back to our house when I heard a metal gate going, jam, 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 jam. Turned to look. Just in time to see her between 2 bars. Her hips were kind of stuck, and she was forcing her way out, and we saw her hips just kind of shoot out. She tumbled a little bit, and then she was racing for us. So we decided, okay, she still has a lot of energy. We did another walk around the small block. Tried to put her back, and she just came Kool-Aid Man straight out again. And then we tried to put her back, and she didn't even wait for the gate to close. She ran out. We were putting her back, and her owner came out and was like, I was thinking about your offer. Previously, we had offered that if they didn't want her, we could take her. Just give us a week's notice so we could get the bunnies to move to the front yard instead of the backyard, so that way our backyard would be available for Crazy Puppy. So he's like, I was going to call you last night. You can have her. Cool. So we wound up trying to leave her. She came straight out again. So this is, by the way, 4 times she had managed to escape that day. We wound up having to put her in her crate. We didn't like doing that because the crate she used to have, although it was big enough for her, it was black, and it was not always out in the shade. Remember, I'm in California. We get over 100-degree heat regularly in the summer. This was in the morning. Andy and I had some errands to do, so we put her in the crate. We let the owner know she's in the crate, let her out at, sometime later, because she kept escaping. And we went out and talked about, how we would handle the transition to having her and what we needed and all that stuff. And Andy was kind of on the fence. Andy's my husband. He was on the fence about whether this was a good idea given our financial situation and everything. And then that evening, he went to his grandmother's house, who is the next door neighbor to Bailey's original house. And he came home after that, and we were talking, and we heard a little tink on our back sliding door. And I was like, did you hear something? It was dark. It was like 10:30 at night. And we look, and we heard it again. Tink. We look and look and look. It's like, is that the dog? It was the dog. So she made the decision for us. Our gate had been open, so we let her in, and she just went straight on her back, like, pet me, like one of your French girls or something like that. And so we were petting her, and we were happy. We're like, you know what? She just made the decision for us. That was 5 escapes in one day. And we wound up closing the back gate, and I moved the bunny food out. And for the next few months, every time we let her out, we always looked for bunnies first. Did not manage it one time. She caught the bunny twice. I pried it out. The bunny survived and finally ran away. But that was the most terrifying thing I've ever done. She has a super strong prey drive. And we started training her. She's like a 100% different puppy now. When we first got her, she never would have been like calm. For how long has this been? I've been talking at you for like 12 and a half minutes. She would not have been sitting here just being chill when I first got her. And to make matters worse, we've realized about 10 minutes after she arrived, and we were like, yep, she's ours now. She was in heat. We found little bud spatters on our fake wooden floor, and yeah, she was ours. She's still ours. She has gotten out a couple times because she's a crazy puppy. Look at this crazy puppy face. Yes, she's so good. But she's never tried to escape. There have never been multiple escapes in a day. It has totally been we forgot to close the gate after the gardener came and realized it, and she got down the street, and that's as far as she did. And I said, Bailey, and she came, and we got her back inside with the bribe of treats. She listens very well, and she's a very good puppy. Last time she went to the vet, they said, wow, you must do enough mental stimulation with her. So it's working out, and we are so happy. Anyway, this little turd, I love her. She's my little turd. She got to this about a month or so after she was here, and she chewed a hole right here. I've got a picture of before I managed to mend it, and now I have managed to mend it, and notice how it looks like a moon. That was not intentional. So remember how I only had about a foot of yarn left when I made this sucker. So I threw that away, obviously, because what's good 1 foot of yarn? That's only going to match like one of these colors because it's self-striping. No, I don't remember what the yarn is. I think it was Chroma from Knit Picks. I don't remember. I saw these videos where you put the yarn sideways, and there's a way you put it through the fabric so that you've got it going this way and this way and this way and this way all the way up. Now remember, this is not a nice even square or rectangle. This is very jagged damage. So I started trying that and got supremely stuck. So what I wound up doing was I picked up all the loops and tugged on them to make sure that they were secure. And then I just started knitting, and then I would do kind of a knit 2 together on one side and then do the next row. And I did backwards knitting, so I would knit this way, and then I would, using my left hand, I am not left-handed, knit back the other way. And oh my God, that was a pain in the ass. And then I Kitchenered kind of this spot. Well, technically I think it's this spot right here. Yeah, I Kitchenered this bit right here, and then I knit up here, and then I kind of knit across and Kitchenered up here. And then I had a good amount, maybe a foot of leftover yarn that I had originally cut off. So I just made sure to kind of sew it on a little bit better. You know, it doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to be functional. It's an elbow patch. Weird shit happens on elbow patches, right? And then I took all the kind of random ends and I just tied little knots. I can't remember if this is hand wash only, so I'm going to treat it hand wash only, and I'm never going to wash this sucker ever again. I'm not going to eat with it or anything. Yes, I am being ridiculous with this, but I'm fairly certain that this was not machine washable, and even if it was, with how janky this patch is, I'm probably not going to. I do know the yarn in the patch is machine washable though. Yeah, so I fixed it. I've got a nice little moon on my elbow. Wish it was intentional. And that's what I'm wearing today. So next, acquisitions. I actually have acquisitions. I got a lot of acquisitions because I did an online order at Joann's. And then the guy who came out, he had a marvelous beard. Just feel that we need to acknowledge male beauty when we see it. And it was amazing. And poor guy was having like the worst day. He gave me the wrong one. I got all this like, I'm not sure if it was felt or if it was just fabric of some kind, but it was material and I did not need material. And it wasn't what I ordered. So I wound up bringing it back. He came out again and I said, you know, I think you handed me the wrong one. And I was, you know, quick tip, because I worked in food service and I've got a bunch of friends who've worked in retail. If they fuck up, just be nice to the retail workers. They are not being paid what they're worth. They're getting more shit from their managers and supervisors than they deserve. And customers can be a royal pain in the ass. Just be nice to them. And this poor guy, I was like, you know, I don't think I got the right one. And I had the order on my phone called up and I was like, this is what I was supposed to get. So he went and found mine. I said, yes, that looks much more correct. The name on the tag was correct. He gave it to me and I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know to whom this originally belonged. He said, that's fine. I'll figure it out. And then I complimented his glorious beard and his face just lit up. It was wonderful. Be nice to these poor people who work these shit jobs. Just be nice. And my dog is requesting to be let outside. Uno momento, s'il vous plaît. She did not say she does not get to go outside. She just wants to chase a squirrel, I'm sure. I finally got it and I got it home because I've got like 3-ish videos that I'm planning to make. So this is where you're going to get to see what's kind of upcoming on my channel. Oh, quick notice. I don't know what order these videos are coming up. I haven't even filmed them yet because I wanted to film this shit first. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is pom-poms. Some yarn does not pom-pom for crap. And as a result, I'm going to show how it does not pom-pom for crap. I am going to intentionally waste some yarn because I'm going to make pom-poms with some material that does not pom-pom and then some material that does pom-pom. So you get to see that video, and that's why I got some Karen Simply Soft, because Karen Simply Soft is not the best for pom-poms. You want something a little fluffier. Boy, I really hope that this does not pom-pom, otherwise I have to go to Hobby Lobby and get one that really doesn't pom-pom. I'm either going to try and pom-pom with this or another yarn I have that I'm pretty sure doesn't pom-pom either, just to show you what happens when a yarn doesn't pom-pom and kind of explain. It's not really science, but the science behind how pom-poms work. We're going to ignore the sounds my dog is making if you can hear those because she just wants out to chase squirrels and she's not listening. So we're going to deal with noises. Here's the other thing that this yarn does. It splits. And I'm going to explain in a different video why splitting happens and what you can do to prevent splitting in the way you knit and crochet. I also got a variety of yarns that are a variety of weights. There's a reason they're all sort of variegated and different levels of self-striping. But I wanted these to show the different yarn weights and kind of how they function with regards to drape. There is a kind of cross section between the size of the yarn and the drape you get. So I was hoping to do that with like appropriate size needles and everything for each one of these. And to just show that you can get decent drape with anything if you use the appropriate size needles, but also be aware that different size yarn does drape differently. And I was trying to get as much acrylic as possible because it's easier to show similarities and differences with the same fiber. The problem is that I think sport weight, fingering weight, and lace weight, it doesn't really come in acrylics that I could find at Joann's for a reasonable price. So I do have some of those. I will knit up swatches with those. I will also crochet up swatches. This is going to be a big yarn waster, but I think that's important. But also, I got all these because I'm doing another video with the same yarns that's going to show the spectrum of color changing yarn. We're going to have from solid to slow color change ombre. Also, quick note, like Super Saver is not my favorite, but this ombre is absolutely wonderful, and I've been wanting to like make a blanket with it just so you can have like the full thing. So I might get some more of these at some point to do more ombre with. And then really super color changes and moderate color changes. Like I think this is a good one that you could do planned color pooling with, maybe. I'm not doing planned color pooling. If you want to know about that, the Marley Bird has a really good video. I may or may not link it in the description if I remember. When I edit, it's kind of a toss-up whether or not I'm going to actually remember to post the links, I promise. So, I mean, you could always just Google it. It's on YouTube. But this is a slightly wider self-striping yarn. And then, well, this isn't going to be used in that video. So, that's what I bought. I think this whole entire thing, after taxes and everything, came out to $35, something like that. And the last section for today, because I have no finished objects, my whip. And it is different than last time, though it is using the same yarn, because last time I was making a rectangular shawl, and it wasn't going the way I wanted, because I realized that if I was going to do that, I wanted diagonal stripes, and me trying to get on the bias had resulted in some weird curling that I didn't like. So I am now doing something completely different. I am doing a knitted poncho. I used my measurements. This one is still my contrasting color. This is a lace weight red. I think this one is some kind of wool, but the main color is black. And this is like a yak silk blend of some kind. And I'm doing this turtleneck style. So I got one of those, I'll put the name here because I always blank on it, but it's one of those cast-ons that looks like it's rolled over, but it really isn't. And it's turtleneck. It's about 4 inches. It's made to my neck measurements. I have a skinny neck. I have chunky here, but a skinny neck. And then it's just a poncho from there. So after I got bored with knitting in just my pattern, which is one row even, round, one round even, and one round increasing, I did one repeat in red, and then I did about 8 repeats in my primary color, and then I did 2 repeats, so 4 rounds, in the contrast color, and now I'm trying to do another 8 repeats in my primary, and then I'll do 3 repeats, and I'm just going to increase by 1 repeat, aka 2 rounds, every contrast color until I wind up with a big old chunk of red, and then I'm going to finish it off probably in black, because I've got a whole bunch. Wow, I just found a flower. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use up some stuff because I realized I have a metric boatload of lace weight yarn that I never know what to do with, and I love that weight. Like, I love thinner weight yarns. That is my jam. Just having something delicate on my needles that winds up as light as real clothes when you purchase them. I really like that. I really don't use chunky or super chunky or bulky or super bulky yarn. I really just prefer thinner Usually I do fingering weight, but since I have a ton of this, I might as well make a few garments that way. It'll be a lot more like when you actually have a knit tank top or something that's knit from the store. These are very, very fine stitches. I don't know if you can see any stitch definition. And I hope I like it. It is very soft though. It is next to skin soft. Also another WIP. I have a bookmark that I'm cross-stitching temperatures. So I figure about 2 months will fit on here, January and February. February is my husband's birthday month, so that's why I want this. And here's the thing with a lot of like temperature projects or year-long projects is they tend to be big because a year is long. And usually around June or July, sometimes a little earlier, I lose interest. So I figure I can keep up with it every so often for 2 months. I might do November and December because my birthday is in November, and then December just to end the year. Also, these are the colors I really like. I like greens, blues, and purples, not in that order. Blues, greens, purples, that order. And look at that. It's got a little bit of green at the bottom, and it's mostly 2 shades of blue that I really like. So February isn't shaping up to be very much more green so far. So yeah, I'm doing this. And the nice thing is if I want to do March and April, I can. If I don't want to, I don't have to. I could do June and July or May and June and give that to my husband's grandmother because her birthday's in June. It's kind of a nice way to separate it. Also, by doing 2 months, if I do manage to do the full year, I will only wind up with 6 of these instead of like 12, or having one huge thing that I have to frame. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. I've got the needle I'm working with here, and the back isn't looking too bad. I do have some iron-on interfacing that I might just kind of finish the back with if I care to. I genuinely don't care how the backs look. And that's what I've got. I have no finished objects because I have not been working on anything too dedicatedly. So I hope you found this interesting. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on any of this stuff. Let me know about your pets. Put that in the comment section. And happy crafting. Bye.